Yo, what's invoking, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we got Pendulum Magicians. This is like the ultimate budget deck now that Cerberus got reprinted, so this is absolutely nuts. Like this deck, it doesn't matter how many cards you play. You can play 40, you can play 60. I personally am playing 45 right now, and this deck just performs so well for me. And yeah, it's ultimate budget deck. You can make it for under 100, maybe even 50. And yeah, let's get straight into it. So first, we have the Magician package. So we have 3 Harmonizing, 3 Wisdom Eye, 2 Oath, 2 Black Fang, 1 Purple Poison. You can up this to 2 if you want, but 1's fine for me. 1 Janky and 1 Dragon Pit. So 3 Harmonizing for sure. Like this card's nuts. Pulls any other Magician straight out of your deck. And it's a tuner, so you already know we can make that Synchro play. Wisdom Eye scales any other Magician. So good. You want to always go into Oath for Black Fang with it. And then Oath, I honestly is the best scale because you just get stuff from your face up extra deck. What you can do is all I do is I always grab Harmonizing off the top of my extra deck, and it's just free plus. Then Black Fang, high scale. It's really good. It lowers your opponent's attack, and that's pretty good. And 1 Purple Poison. You could always up this to 2. I don't think it's as necessary in this format, but another low scale is nice because we're only playing 1, 2, 3 low scales. So it might be nice to have a second, but for now it's fine. So that's it for the Magician package. Oh, also, Janky Magician. It's good for negates. It's very situational for negates, but you mainly want to pull this out using Harmonizing if you want to make Vortex. And Dragon Pit, so good because it pops spells and traps, just pops back row. So it's a card that you always want to have. Now, here are the cards that makes this deck insane. So these cards let you make Electromite without your normal or Pendulum summon, and that's just so strong. So we have 3 Curtain Raiser. It's a free summon essentially. 3 Dark Worm, 2 Gate 0. 2 Gate 0 is really good. Like 1's not enough because if you have 2 in your hand, that's a free Vortex because you can just make absolute. Dark Worm, if it's in the graveyard somehow, you win because it's a +1. So that's really good. Then we have the Chrono package because it's a free special summon. Chrono, I don't really use its special summon effect like itself from hand. I usually use it to get Time Gazer because you always want to summon Electromite with your normal. Like that's like the best situation you can have. Then we have the worst engine in my opinion, the Mythical Beast engine. This card got reprinted, so it's hella cheap now. But this one, if you get Ashed on the Cerberus, that's the worst. But it's a free summon, and if you go second, you can always get out the Cerberus, activate 2 scales maybe, and then once you do that, you can banish a monster, so that's nice. Cerberus is nice too, because it's like a negate, so even if you hard draw one, with or the Jackal with the Cerberus, you can always have a Jackal on the board after your Pendulum summon. Now for the non-Pendulums, 2 Apex Avion, you don't want 3, because it bricks, and 2 Drolls. So the reason why we play hand traps, just 2, is because you play 45, so you're not really going to see anyways, but it does come up when you come second. And if you draw your opponent, they can't play, you just OTK and you win. And yeah. Now moving on to spells, we have 3 Desires. Desire is so good, it just gives you 2 extra cards, like nothing more to say. 3 Pen Call. Pen Call's really good. If you pitch Dark Worm, it's just auto win. 2 Dragon Shrine, 1 Foolish. Ways to get Dark Worm to the grave. And lastly, 2 Allure of Darkness. That's that simple. This deck, so cheap now. You can make it for really, really cheap. And it's like tier 0. That's how good it is. Now moving on to the extra deck, we have Electromite, Metaltron, Underclock, Ib, and then LP. So I just want to talk about these. So Electromite, you have to play because it's a free draw. You pop your own scale. You can grab stuff from your extra deck. It's really good. Zephyr Metaltron, it gives you more zones for your extra deck, and also if one of them get destroyed, you get to add a card from your graveyard or like a monster to your hand, which is good. Underclock, good for OTKing. Also good for link climbing. 1 Ib, because Ib just protects your cards. Like if you have nothing to go into and you just have extra monsters, just go into Ib. And then LP because we play Goliath. Then we have Boral Savage for the Synchros. So now we're moving on to Synchros. Boral Savage, Ignis or Prominence, and Meteor Burst. So Meteor Burst is necessary. You don't really go into it, but it's necessary. Ignis or Prominence, non-targeting removal, and Warlord Savage. That's a card that you go in for strikers. Now moving on to the XZs. You have Dweller. It's auto win. Tornado Dragon, really good. Dark Rebellion for OTK. Time Star for setting up. And Norito for negate. And Absolute, because that's how you get into Vortex. So yeah, that's the extra deck. Like, this is absolutely solid. I guess a Boral card would be good, like a Boral Link. That would be good in the extra too, but I don't have my hands on one right now, so we won't play it. But honestly, you don't need it to win. Like, this deck's great anyways. So now we have the side deck. 2 Pank, 3 Denko, 3 Sphere Mode. So here, just gonna reposition it for you guys. So we got 3 Pank, 3 Denko, 3 Sphere Mode, because literally Pank wins against all back row decks, Denko wins against all back row decks, Sphere Mode wins against all combo, Lancias win against all combo, this wins against all back row, this wins against every deck that goes into the extra deck. So yeah, this deck's absolutely madness. Like, I really recommend playing this deck, and shout outs to whoever did ask us to do this deck profile, because this deck was a blast to make and to play. And now, just cause, I'll do a demonstration for what the boards would end up looking like. So we'll get this going. So I just do a little quick power shuffle for you guys, and we'll see how it goes. Because, like, normally you're going to end up with 3 negates. Like, 3 negates is very normal for this deck every single turn. And then, yeah, you just make 3 negates. It's usually Dweller, and then Vortex, and then maybe like a Jackal or Avion. Or if you really wanted to, you could make another negate if you didn't use your normal summon, which is really likely in this deck. So we'll give it a good shuffle, give it a cut, and we'll open 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this hand's actually busted. Even though we don't have Dark Worm, we can still make plenty of negates here. So activate Pen Call, pitch Harmonizing, and then what we want is we want another Harmonizing and a high scale. So because we already have low scale, which is Oath Dragon, so we have Black Fang, and let's get Harmonizing. Cool. So now we'd activate the Cerberus, and then we'd put it onto the extra deck. So Cerberus on extra deck, search Jackal, scale Jackal, then we'd use Jackal's effect, bring back Cerberus. Now we'd normal summon Harmonizing. So, okay, so we got Harmonizing normaled. Now that we got that done, what we can do is go straight into Electromite, and then we can use its effect. I would send a Magician, because sending a Magician is the best thing we can do right now. The sad thing is we can't actually go into Vortex because we didn't open like Dark Worm or Gate 0 or any level 7. So that's a shame, but we can do that. If you really wanted to, you could scale the Jackal King effect, pop it, okay, and then grab it back, and then give it another shuffle. Okay, and then you draw 1 off Electromite. So then we drew this, but it doesn't matter what card. I'm not even going to use it. So we have the Electromite. Sorry for the glare, but that's Electromite. And then we'd scale Oath, scale Black Fang, get back Harmonizing from our extra deck. And now what we can do is we can just pen summon now. So we can pen summon out 1, 2, 3, 4. So now this is our board. Yeah, the glitter's a bit bad, but... And then now we would use Harmonizing effect. And then we can get out... Let's see. We can get out a level 6, which is going to be Oath. So we got to look for the Oath. Special summon it. And now what we do is we put the 2 level 4s together. Make Dweller. Put the 2 level 6s together. Make Norito. And there you go. There you have it. That's the board. So you have Black Fang, which lowers attack, so you can protect your guys. You have a Dweller, you have a Naruto, you have Electromite, and you have Jackal King. So you have one monster, one spell, and one graveyard negate, one protection monster essentially, and you still have Electromite on your field. So that's pretty sick. And to be honest, that was a really mediocre hand. Because like if I had Dark Worm, then I'd be able to push out the Vortex. So honestly, even with that mediocre hand, if I'm able to push that out, that's insane. Like I really encourage you guys to just make this deck and just mess around with it. It's really cheap and just make insane boards with it, okay? Anyways, this is a really fun deck profile to make. So yeah, stay invoking, guys.